Hello and welcome to Wealthy Women's Wednesday. Hello, 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 hello. I'm so excited to be here with you. If for some reason you can't hear me, just click the microphone below. If you can't hear me, just click that little microphone below. If you're here, let me know you're here. Give me a heart. Tell me your name and tell me what is your biggest challenge when it comes to managing time. Today's topic is 3 steps to feminine time management. And what I mean by that is a set of tools to help you manage your time so that you can actually get to the front side of your schedule, so that you're not getting drug around by your schedule, right? What I'm committed to on your behalf is you having the focus, the presence, the wisdom, and the tools to really walk through your day present, grounded, able to be efficient, serve your clients, make great money, but not lose yourself in the process. Because here at Women Rocking Business, we are all about you having a business that fits into your life, rather than having to fit your life around an overly busy business schedule. Hi, Kim. Hi, Terry. Hi, Emily. Hi, Karina. Say hello and let me know, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to managing time? Do you find yourself wishing you had more space? What are you spending your time doing that you don't want to be doing? Post those things below. Hi, Kim. Hi, Corey. So, women, let's dive in. One of the things that I always get asked is, how do you possibly work 12 days a month or less and run $1 million company? So that's exactly what I want to teach you today. I want to teach you how I'm able to work a lot less than a lot of entrepreneurs. Whether you want to have a schedule where you work 12 days a month, whether you want to have a schedule where you work only in the mornings so that you can be with your kids in the afternoon, whether you want to have a schedule where you just work a couple days a week, whatever that dream schedule is, let's help you get clear on how you could start to achieve that. Because here's the thing, if we can't see it, it's hard to believe it. If we can't see somebody living it, if we don't have any examples, right? It's very tricky to actually believe that this is possible for me. So the more we can get you the tools to really be efficient and prioritize income producing activities and get to the front side of your schedule, the more we can really help you see that your ideal schedule is within reach. Okay, I work the first Monday through Thursday of the first 3 weeks of the month. So Fridays are off, and the last week of the month, I have flex week. My clients know it, my team knows it, and everybody in my world supports it, because it takes a lot to run a company, and it takes a lot to do the things that you're doing to build your business. It takes a lot to really have to flex the risk-taking muscles, the visibility muscles, the how do I market myself muscles. There are so many things that you're learning at once in order to grow a business, which is why it's so important that you have structure, that you have mentorship, that you have community. Because without those things, it's like, you know, having to learn 10 foreign languages at once with no guidance in a country that doesn't even speak the language. I just made that up on the spot, could you tell? So here's the thing, you have a big mission and you're moving really fast, and you've got to give yourself time to sustain that schedule. So let's dive in and get you the 3 steps to really getting on the front side of your schedule and learning to manage your time the woman's way. Kaya, I hear you. It is hard to know how long something's going to take. Absolutely. That's a huge piece of this. We'll address that. Hi, Julie. It's hard to stay on track with unfamiliar tasks. Julie, totally hear you. I think we're gonna give some tools to address that. Thank you everyone that posted a question. I'll be on the thread after the video. I want to dive in and get you the first tool to really managing your time from a feminine place. And that is to write this down. Don't keep anything in your head. Okay, when you try to keep to-do lists and details in your head, when you find yourself spouting off in your head about all of the things that you should be doing to grow your business, we've got to get a handle on that one inside of you that spins out. And it's actually one of the biggest problems my clients come to me and tell me is going on. And I see entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs that are in their first couple years of business getting caught in this spin cycle all the time. I think it's one of the biggest things that we're up against is the spinning that can happen, because there simply are so many things that you could be doing to grow your business. And you've got to actually get a handle on what is the actual plan? What are you actually doing? What is the proven method that you can emulate, right? We like to say, write this down, imitate before you innovate, right? Learn from somebody who has accomplished and achieved what you want to accomplish and achieve. And absolutely then bring the innovation, bring your authenticity, but don't try to reinvent the wheel. And don't try to keep everything in your head. So when those to-do lists start running in your head, or the details, or the you should do this and you should do that, right? When that spin starts happening, I'm going to invite you to get a hold of that and then to actually start to write it down. I make lists in my phone. I put things straight into my schedule. I have at least several, like a couple of different slots per week. I have Tuesday and Thursday afternoon slotted for like extra to-do things. And I know that that's in my calendar. So when I think of something that I have to do, I literally just open up my calendar and I plug it straight into my calendar. Oh, Thursday. Okay, I need to stop by the post office. Okay, I need to write that website copy for my team. When do I have time? I have time Thursday afternoon. I'm just going to give myself 90 minutes right now, plug it into my calendar. What this allows me to do is it allows me to walk through my life always feeling like there's space for what's on my to-do list. Now, this is going to take you a little bit of extra time. It's going to take you, it's like a new muscle to learn to actually plug your to-do list into your calendar. But trust me when I say it'll take you a couple of weeks to get used to it, and it is so worth it. Try it for a couple of weeks. And if you don't want to have a much easier, calmer existence, then definitely don't try it. And that was for all you resistance learners out there. So here's the thing. We've got to learn to keep regular work hours. And I know for you women, it can be really hard to set regular work hours. Right? We like to be organic. We like to be spacious. And here's what I want to say to you. If you can create a schedule that also allows you that space, then what your system can do is rest into knowing what you should and shouldn't be doing each day of the week. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to actually design your schedule so that you know what you're focused on each day. But for now, don't keep anything in your head. Get it out into your calendar. I have a paper calendar. Here, I have it right here. I love my paper calendar. I still make to-do lists in my paper calendar. I still think pen to paper is a wonderful way to keep track of what is going on. I love to be able to, on the left-hand side of each day, I know which appointments I have, and on the right-hand side, I know what I'd like to get done that day. I love these calendars where you can see one whole week at a time. I love that, and I love that I can have my little sticky notes on here. So if you are someone who likes to stay organized and it calms you down when you're organized, pen to paper can still be a wonderful way to supplement this calendar. I still have all my appointments in here, and I like to have some to-do lists in here because sometimes I'm out and about. This is in my purse. I don't carry my paper schedule with me. So that is how I do it. My clients begin to do it with this system too, and they love it, love it, love it. So try it, see if it works for you. Here's the thing. If you find yourself overwhelmed, I did a training last week on overwhelm. You'll have to check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. If you find yourself in overwhelm, you've got to check yourself. Am I writing stuff down? Am I saying no to some of the things that are crowding up my life? And am I getting enough support? It takes a tremendous amount of support to run these businesses. As your leadership increases, your self-care has got to increase to support that leadership, or else, guess what? You've got a big gap that you're living within. So that brings me to step number 2, to start to manage your time and get to the front side of your schedule in more of a feminine way. Now, there's a quote that says, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail, right? Again, like I said, we need normal work hours. It doesn't mean that we have to keep those hours every single day, but any kind of efficiency and greatness is created within a container. Can you feel it? It's why being in a loving relationship feels so good. It's why having those loving friendships feels so good. It's why being in a mentorship program feels so good, because it becomes a container for your life. You can't cook a pot of soup without a container, right? Holding that beautiful creation that you're making. You, goddess, you are becoming a container for your clients. Therefore, you also require a container to hold you as you blossom into the leader that you're becoming. What I recommend that you do is modeled after an incredible story in the book Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read this book, it's a must read. It's old. It's like many decades ago. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There was a man named Charles Schwab in the 1930s, and he had a steel company. And he noticed that his workers were not being very efficient. Like, they were dropping the ball and taking way too long to get things done. And they were having to pass tasks off from person to person to person to person just to get things done. And they weren't focusing on what they were supposed to be focusing on. So Charles Schwab, being the dreamer that he was, he wanted to be the biggest producer of steel in the country, in the world. But Bethlehem Steel at the time was struggling. So he stumbled upon this productivity expert named Ivy Lee. And he didn't want to hire Ivy Lee, even though Ivy Lee told him, I can help you with this whole productivity thing. Charles Schwab did not want to hire him. So Ivy Lee said, why don't I teach you and your team my #1 tool for efficiency? And you guys can use it for a few months. And you can write me a check for what you think it's worth. And if it's not worth anything, no worries. So I'm about ready to teach you the tool that Ivy Lee taught Charles Schwab. But what I want to tell you first is that after using that tool for 3 months, Charles Schwab wrote Ivy Lee a check for like $25,000, which in today's currency would be worth over $400,000 at least. So this is a very valuable tool, and I have used this exact tool to grow my $1 million company. So here's how it goes. What you've got to do at the end of your workday is forecast for tomorrow, because you see, tomorrow hasn't yet occurred. And especially for women, our feminine knowingness is such that when we look at tomorrow, we're not in the middle of it yet. So we have a much more disciplined, sort of rooted, grounded, sense of what can be created tomorrow. We have a sense of what can be created tomorrow from a much calmer place when we're sitting in today than when we step in to the chaos that is tomorrow. Can you feel it? So if you do not take the time to think through how tomorrow is going to go, you are losing hours and hours of efficiency out of your schedule. It's just a little ritual, and I use this ritual to close down my day. What do I have happening tomorrow? What are the things that I can do tomorrow to move me forward toward my vision the fastest? Okay, write down that question. What are the 3 to 5 things that I can do tomorrow to move me toward my vision the quickest? This is what Ivy Lee taught Charles Schwab's team. Because what happens is we get caught up in the chaos of tomorrow, and we forget that there's certain things that we could be doing to actually move our business forward. We get on our email, we start checking email, an hour and a half later, we still feel like we haven't done anything. This is because we aren't starting the day in the most high level, high functioning kind of a way. The most successful people on the planet, the CEO of Facebook, right? I heard this incredible talk. The CEO of Facebook uses this exact formula, right? My friend Jeff Walker uses this formula. My friend JJ Virgin is totally organized in this way. You've got to get to the front side. And here's what it looks like. Asking yourself, what are the 3 to 5 things that are the most income producing activities that I could do tomorrow? And then start your day that way. Don't start your day by checking email. Big mistake. Super derailing, right? Start your day focused on following up with potential clients. Start your day focused on making that phone call about that speaking engagement that you're wanting to have happen so that you can get on stage in front of a bunch of people and enroll a bunch of new customers. The things that you're most afraid to do, start your day with those things. And what do you think is going to start happening? Think about it. If you start your day with the biggest rocks, the biggest rock activities, rather than going for the pebbles, right? What energy then are you going to be cultivating for your day? Think about it. I'm curious, what do you think? What my clients find is that when they start their day with the most high level, scariest action steps, they get a little shot of adrenaline. And adrenaline is good, isn't it? It moves us forward in our lives. It gives us the energy, the excitement, the passion to say, yes, I'm putting a stake in the ground. I'm saying yes to this business. I'm saying yes to these dreams. And it lets your subconscious know that, yes, you are moving forward. You are not playing small. So start your day following up with potential clients, following up with speaking engagements, following up with referral partners, asking somebody to promote you. It's how I start my day as well. And it gives me so much joy to move through my day knowing that I've already tackled the thing I was most nervous to do. Not only did Charles Schwab write Ivy Lee a check for the equivalent of over $400,000, but Charles Schwab took Bethlehem Steel to become the second largest producer of steel in the world with this one tool. Super exciting, super exciting. And then I want you to write this down, to consider that you're going for completion and not perfection. There is a universal law that says that the time it takes to complete a task expands into the amount of time that you give it. This is for you, Kaya. The amount of time it takes to complete a task will expand into the amount of time that you give it. We have a couple hundred clients right now, almost a couple hundred, like 180, 190 clients right now who are all getting really clear on their message. They're in our year-long programs. And we give them like a few weeks. We basically give them a deadline by which they will claim their ideal client, their ideal message, their ideal niche. Excuse me. Bless me. We give them a time by which they will claim their ideal niche. Why do we do that? Because they will take the amount of time that we give them to get clear on their niche. And guess how much money they make while they're getting clear on their niche? Usually not very much. We need to get them clear on their message so that they can use the strategies and get out there and move forward. And if they want to evolve their message later on down the line, they totally can. But we give them a cutoff date, like by the retreat, you've got to be clear so that we can get you going. And, you know, almost 100% of our clients are clear by that retreat date. There might be one or two that walk into the retreat feeling a little wobbly, and we get them sorted out at that retreat. But we do that so that they will start implementing the tools and start seeing the money that comes in as a result of that. When you're writing a newsletter, when you're creating your Facebook page, right? If you give yourself all day to create those words and think through what you want to say, you could take all day. But it's all about completion and not perfection. So goddess, be willing to get it done imperfectly so that you can get these things done and move forward. All right, that brings me to feminine time management, step number 3. And that is that you've got to clump your time. Write this down. You've got to clump your time. So what does that mean? What I mean by that is that you actually clump similar activities during your week, during certain hours of the week, so that you're not switching back and forth from doing a client session to running to the post office to doing another client session to figuring out what words are going to go on your website and then 4 hours later doing another client session. It can take the brain up to 4 times longer to refocus when you get distracted, because there's different spheres of the brain that actually are used for different actions, okay? So what we've got to do is we've got to actually set normal client hours for you. These are the hours where you see clients, even if you don't even have clients yet, right? These are the hours that you work with your clients. For me, it's Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I work with my clients on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And outside of that, I rarely am with a client unless it's an emergency or Oprah or something amazing, right? So what that does for me is it gives me all day Monday and all day Thursday to work on my business rather than in my business. And can you feel the difference? Those of us who have scaled our businesses and my clients that really scale their businesses, they've learned the difference between working in their business and on their business, right? We've got to have time for both. And as you scale, you're going to want to get to the point where you have about almost half your time available to work on your business so that you're not always doing all the tasks within your business. You're going to have to balance that out. And it sure helps to get that first assistant on board. It really, really, really helps to get to the point where you have the clients that allow you to hire the first assistant so that you're not always the only one working in your business, right? Doing everything on Facebook, doing everything, emailing your clients, right? The sooner we can get one barrier of separation between you and your clients, the better, right? We actually want your clients to be hearing from your assistant by email, not you, so that you have an office, you become a professional. You can start managing your time like a professional woman leader. And your assistant can help you with all that correspondence. Are you feeling the energy of this? Because you, my love, you get to step into this. And it's very exciting. So what I recommend, and here's how I do it, is that you have at least 8 or 10 or 12 or 15 client hours in your week. So if you can, give yourself a couple of days. If you're still transitioning out of a job, give yourself a couple of 4-hour slots where you put all your clients, right? I have clients every year. I have a client right now who's working full-time and starting her business. Okay, we're gonna figure that out. She sees clients Tuesday nights from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. on Tuesday nights. She's given up Tuesday nights to see her clients, and Saturday mornings. And then she gets that done at the very beginning of the weekend, and then she has the whole rest of the weekend to play. So like 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, she's got client hours, Tuesday nights and Saturday mornings. She works on her business a little bit outside of those hours, but she knows that's when she can see clients. And this is an important mindset shift. Write this down. It's not about you asking your clients when they want to do a session with you. You ask them to fit into your schedule. You send them the times that you have available. You're the mentor. Don't open up your schedule wide open for clients, right? That's not the mindset of leadership. So here's the thing. When she has clients in those slots, she has a client every hour, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and she does one final client at 9 p.m. on the phone. When she has clients, she shows up for them. When she doesn't have clients, she uses that time to just work on finding more clients. Can you feel the energy of that? You've got this time set aside in your week, whether it's 8 hours or 15 hours. And you use that time to see your clients. And if you don't have clients, you do the top 3 to 5 things during that time that you know will get you clients the fastest. You offer free sessions, you book speaking engagements, you get in front of people, you follow up with people from networking events, you go to networking events. Right? Those are your client recruiting hours. So you can do this. It is not rocket science. And what's going to happen is you start to set this schedule up for yourself is you're going to feel a sense of safety within your business. And we've got to create that as entrepreneurs, or else we just start feeling like we're kind of like floating around in space and how's this even going to work, right? So for me and for a lot of my clients, because we work Mondays through Thursdays and we take Fridays off, Monday is a day to work on our business. That's also really helpful because if we go to a weekend event and speak at an event or go do a training over the weekend, we can have Monday to kind of transition back into our world. We're still working potentially, but we don't have a bunch of appointments to show up for. So Mondays are, for me, I meet with my team. I work on my website copy. I record videos if I have to on Monday. If I need to record a video, I might do that on Monday. I'm working on my business, not in my business. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I see clients. Right? Tuesday late afternoon, I oftentimes have a little slot for productivity there. Thursdays is when I meet with referral partners. Any appointments that are not client related, I'll put on a Thursday. And then Fridays I have off. So can you see how having my week organized in this way allows me to just relax and breathe and be calm because there's like order, there's structure holding me. Being a free spirit takes great discipline. Write that down. That's a writer downer. Being a free spirit takes great discipline. And goddess power, amazing woman that you are, I know that you think that you are Superwoman, and I know that you think that sometimes you can just keep going all day long and just keep working. I had one of those days a couple weeks ago where I just had so much to do. I just thought I could just get it all done. And by the afternoon, I had gone to hot yoga. I was so lightheaded that I got dizzy and literally had to lay down with my legs up the wall to catch my breath at 3 p.m. I know that you think you're Superwoman, but you're not. Your body has got to be taken care of. So here's my last, most hottest tip. And if I had not learned this tip, there's no way I would have gotten to 7 figures. Set your schedule in 90-minute chunks and then take a break. They've done all this research on Olympic athletes, and they've looked at what's the difference between a gold medal winner and an Olympic athlete who just never quite makes it. The gold medal winners had one thing in common, and that is that those gold medal winners, they all took the time to rest. That is the one thing that was different between the gold medal winners and all the other winners. I mean, we're talking about a fraction of a second. We're talking about like like Michael Phelps, right? Like doing the butterfly. Like the difference between the winner and the not winner is just like it's just like that much of a second, right? It's just like so fast. And that difference they tracked against a bunch of different kinds of sports, and it was rest. They found that the gold medal winners scheduled in rest to their schedules. Isn't that fascinating? If you're not resting, you're not treating your business like the marathon that it is. It is not a sprint. This is a commitment that you're making for life. I don't care what you can do in 1 year. Let's talk about what you can do in 10 years. Let's talk about the legacy that you can leave in 10 years. Let's talk about who you can be and all of the people whose lives that you can change a decade from now. And that comes from you making sustainable decisions about your schedule. You're not working yourself into the ground. You're not burning out with adrenal fatigue. You're taking time to rest. So here's how it works. Set the timer for 90 minutes. Timer, 90 minutes. When that 90-minute mark goes off, whether you're working on website copy, whether you're working on your business, you're marketing yourself, you're working, when that 90-minute timer goes off, unless you're with a client, you take a break. You take a 10 or a 15-minute break. You walk around the block, you get a snack, drink some water. I like to get horizontal with my legs up a wall. Very powerful way to reset the nervous system. Big, long belly breaths that gets us out of the fight or flight response. And then after that 10 or 15-minute break, you will get back to work with even more efficiency. Because what they've found is over that 90-minute amount of time, your efficiency starts dropping. So if you're still working after 90 minutes, guess what's happened to your efficiency? And you don't even know it yet because you've been working. So you can't track the fact that you're not working as efficiently as you were. You're exhausted. You're probably not exhausted, but your efficiency has dropped. Are you tracking with me? So what I recommend you do is I recommend you take that 10 or 15-minute break every 90 minutes. And then when you come back to work, you're going to be able to maintain that efficiency. And the ideal work schedule gives you 3 or maybe 4 90-minute chunks of work time during the day, separated out by breaks and rest. And that's going to actually leave you feeling juiced up at the end of your day so that you're not exhausted by 4 o'clock in the afternoon and reaching for a cup of coffee. All right? Are these hot tips or what? Hi, Rebecca Henry. I love that you're working with the Freedom Schedule now. Hi, Kim. Yes, getting family members to take your business seriously is a big thing. And Kim, sweetheart, when you actually start utilizing the tools that I'm teaching today, I think you might find that your family members start taking you more seriously because they see that you're disciplined. They see that you're really showing up. Oh, Marcy, I hope you're able to get in. Hi, Salima. Hi, Julie. Hi, Mary. Look, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Hi, Angelica. Hi, Heather. Oh, I'm so glad these are helpful for y'all. Let me know if these are helpful. And I'm so glad that they're working for you. Tracy, I'm so glad these tips are working for you. Yes, I'm in Toronto this weekend for the Hay House event. We have a couple of seats left if anybody wants to join us. I'm so excited to be there. I'm spending an entire day helping, 50 or 60 women craft their entire signature talk. I'm really excited. I'm getting on a plane on Friday morning. And I've never been to Toronto. So if you have any ideas for me, post them in the comments thread below. Okay, I'm going to do a quick review. And this is our last Wealthy Women's Wednesday video for the summer. I'm taking the summer off to meet my man. Number 1, don't keep anything in your head. Write it down. Play with having a pen to paper time scheduler, and play with actually plugging your to-do list directly into your calendar so that you don't end up walking around with this crazy long to-do list that's like weighing you down. It's this feeling of realizing that you actually have the time in your schedule to do the things you know you need to do. Number 2, set normal work hours and get to the front side of your schedule by really reviewing what tomorrow is going to look like before you shut down your workday today. Number 3, dun, 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 dun. Number 3, clump your time. Rather than all the crazy multitasking, and I'm not saying you never get to multitask, you can multitask sometimes, but do your best. It never works perfectly, but do your best to clump your time. So you have normal client hours and time to work in your business and then time to work on your business. All right, goddesses, because this is the last Wealthy Women's Wednesday for the summer, I'm going to suggest that you go over and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I am going to be dripping out videos there all summer long. And I will have some videos on Facebook, so keep an eye on Wednesday mornings because we'll play videos on Facebook. They might not always be live, but in order to get access to our full library, in order to get access to our full library of videos so that you get my video on raising your rates, you get my video on overwhelm, you get my video on what to do if you think you're burning out, you get my video on how to walk through a launch without freaking out, you get my video on how I created my book launch, you get tons of great videos, the whole library. Please subscribe to my YouTube. And all you've got to do is go to tinyurl.com/Sage YouTube. And that URL, that link is in the comment section of that video. So again, it's at tinyurl.com/Sage YouTube. And yes, for those of you that are in our programs, you have a masterminding call in about 20 minutes. And for the rest of you, thank you so much for being the best part of Women Rocking Business. Congratulations for learning to get to the front side of your schedule. Your clients are waiting for you. They're not just waiting for someone like you, they're actually waiting for you. And let's get these scheduling tools implemented for you so that you can leave the legacy and make the difference that only you can make. Wish me a good summer. It's going to be a blast. Have a wonderful summer. Don't worry, I'll be back. They just won't always be live. I'm going to make organic videos when I'm feeling most called, like the feminine woman that I am. But keep staying plugged into the Women Rocking Business Sisterhood. I'll be active on the Facebook page. If you're not in the Women Rocking Business Sisterhood Facebook page, go over there and say hi. We'll be doing some fun things this summer in the page. So stay active in there. Keep supporting each other. We can all do so much more when we work together. We can do so much more when we say yes to that sisterhood. So goddesses, have a wonderful summer. You will be seeing me, but I will be back for more actual Wealthy Wednesday lives this fall. Mwah. Keep shining.